The Atlanta Reign were so dominant, and I'm not even going to start this video off with my normal intro. I'm doing great, you guys are doing great as well, Overwatch League is amazing, but the Atlanta Reign, what on God's earth happened today? This was one of the biggest stomps I have seen since like New York Excelsior vs Shanghai Dragons, Week 4, Stage 1, Overwatch League Season 1. Now, I don't even know if that's accurate when those teams played, but seriously, I have not seen a stomp this brutal in so long, and it happened to this Atlanta Reign team that almost every single person in our entire community was considering a top 5 team. I mean, the way they handled the supposed best GOATS team in all of Overwatch League last week, the Paris Eternal, was incredible. There was no way going into today's match I would have ever thought in my mind that the Atlanta Reign was going to get slaughtered like this. And I was just reassured of that exact thought when the Overwatch League played this amazing promo right before their match going up against the LA Gladiators. Let's roll it.
We are
the Atlanta Reign.
my teammates. I think they're all really nice, and I think we all get along super well.
Our biggest strength is we're all very good mechanically.
Somehow, the Atlanta Reign have managed to turn this one around.
People are very loud in our team. We have a lot of personalities.
Bruises or theater!
Oh my god.
We joke around, speak to each other, and it's a good team.
되게 재밌게 지내는 것 같아요.
I think everyone's favorite teammate is Daco. He is crazy. He's loud and says funny stuff, but he's a good guy. You should root for us because we have good people and we're gonna pop off.
Now after that, did anyone in their right mind ever believe that the LA Gladiators would destroy the Atlanta Reign how they did? Specifically because they were coming into this match 1-4. They just recently did play the Paris Eternal. In week 2, the LA Gladiators went up against the Paris Eternal, and Paris Eternal showed them what's up. They looked like the better team by far. Then in week 3, the Atlanta Reign took on the Paris Eternal, the supposed best GOATS team in the entire league, and they smoked them. Easy roll. They made the most incredible play of Overwatch League history with that Graviton coming out from Defran on Hollywood. Nobody in their right mind even predicted that the LA Gladiators would come out on top of the set in a nail biter. Nobody. The analysts all picked the Atlanta Reign to win. And guess what? That did not happen. Let's go ahead and break this set down because I sat there in awe the entire time. We started off on Busan, and the first round was probably one of the only competitive times of this entire set when the Atlanta Reign were able to tick up 56%. That's right, guys. The Atlanta Reign getting 56% on a control map was the most competitive part of this entire series. That's unreal. LA Gladiators going into the second round of Busan, utter dominance. Straight up 100% to 0, slammed them, went up in the set 1-0, taking Busan, easy roll. Then we moved on to Kings Row. The LA Gladiators, they started off on attack, and holy crap, did they just smack these Atlanta Reign kids around like crazy, boys. It was the fastest push going into the third point I have ever seen on Kings Row. They took a little bit longer. They took like maybe 2.5 minutes to cap that third point, but when they did, they still had 2.5 minutes left over, which was unreal. The Atlanta Reign just couldn't handle GOATs coming out from the LA Gladiators, specifically Roar and Void. For the first time, Roar and Void finally looked good. They had really strong cohesion, and every single time Decay dropped the Graviton, guess who was there to pin the Reinhardt so Void could come up and get like a 2 or 3k piece with his Diva Bomb? It was Roar. His pins were absolutely flawless tonight when it came to Gravitons. Every time I could remember that there was a grab, Roar hit that pin and he took Pokpo out of the fight, giving them the easy Graviton Diva Bomb combo. Then we swapped over to the Atlanta Reign's attack, and yeah, sure, they did push it through in overtime, but in overtime, they struggled the entire time. Maybe LA Gladiators made a couple mistakes here and there, but in no point in time did I ever think on Kings Row that the Atlanta Reign were going to win that map. The LA Gladiators, as I said, dominated. They came up with the big plays every single time. Shaz, oh man, this guy popped off in the first 2 maps. He was getting every elimination I could think of. It's just, okay, the thing is, everybody on the LA Gladiators looked like they were popping off. No matter who was being spectated, no matter what team fight it was, every single player had their moment and they shined. And that's something that the LA Gladiators lacked of. Nobody was stepping up. Everybody was making mistakes. Roar was pinning it in like he was Bumper, but he had no follow-up, so he just suicide. Then Void would go off onto the side and try to pick off a Zenyatta on his own, but it never worked out for Void. He would just end up getting demacked, then die, and put the LA Gladiators in a bad position. Then we had Big Goose trying to make these cool plays with the boops, wall riding all the way up to the ceiling, then just would screw up, not get a boop, would die, get picked off. Just overall, it was bad plays coming out from everybody. Besides Shaz, I will say Shaz was pretty consistent in all their matches. I don't know what clicked with the LA Gladiators, but whatever they did in preparation for this match was absolutely insane, and they need to do that again. It reminds me sort of what the London Spitfire did in that Washington Justice set when they were down 0-2, but still not even close. It reminds me actually more of what the London Spitfire did last season in the playoffs, when they came out of nowhere and just started destroying everybody. That's what the LA Gladiators look like today. So if they can continue this momentum, I can easily see them becoming a top 5, top 3 team. But anyways, let's get back into Kings Row. So both teams did push through, but because Atlanta Reign had 0 time and the LA Gladiators had over 2.5 minutes, this meant that the LA Gladiators needed to cap 1 tick on the first point in order to take this map, and they did just that. They walked up to the first point and they destroyed the Atlanta Reign, taking over Kings Row, putting them up 2-0 in this set. And then we moved on to the third map, Temple of Anubis, and Defrand was subbed out for Nalir. This was thought so Atlanta Reign could run the Widowmaker. Well, that didn't really happen. LA Gladiators, they just... Jesus, they rolled them over again. They attacked the first point, capped it instantly, attacked the second point, capped it instantly, had over 5 minutes left in the time bank. Then Atlanta Reign went on to their attack, and they couldn't even cap the second point. LA Gladiators just rolled them over, fight after fight after fight on that second point, and we hardly see teams not able to cap the second point nowadays on 2CP. And it was the same things coming out from the LA Gladiators. It was their teamwork, it was their cohesion, the synergy, everything was perfectly timed. When there was a grab, Roar was there to pin. When they got grabbed, Shaz was there to trank. When they were about to get Diva bombed and everybody was about to die, Big Goose would drop his beat and everybody would live. No matter what they needed, every single player was there when they needed to step up and perform. And that's the exact opposite what we have been seeing from the LA Gladiators. But yeah, they picked up Anubis, went up into the set 3-0, took home the victory, and then we moved on to Rialto, and finally the Atlanta Reign showed some life on their defense, and it looked like they were going to first hold the LA Gladiators. Oh, never mind, LA Gladiators, they won the very last team fight in overtime, and then they started rolling through the Atlanta Reign. It made me so frustrated because Atlanta was so close to holding them, but they just couldn't stop them anymore. Atlanta Reign ended up capping this map with time left in the bank after being held to overtime on the very first point. You don't see that happen often, guys, and when it does, it's insane. And then, of course, LA Gladiators continued the dominance, and they first held the Atlanta Reign. So it was just an utter stomp, guys. LA Gladiators showed up to play, and honestly, I don't know if the Atlanta Reign didn't prepare that well for this match because they just thought maybe the LA Gladiators weren't very strong. Maybe that was it. Maybe LA Gladiators just clicked this amazing switch and now they're just all of a sudden one of the best teams, if not the best, because any team that can ragdoll the Atlanta Reign out like that looks like one of the best teams no matter what, because Atlanta Reign has looked good. They lost to the Philadelphia Fusion up until this point. That's it. Every other match, they dominated the Paris Eternal, which again, I've mentioned, Paris Eternal going into that match with the Atlanta Reign was considered the best GOATS team and like a top 3, top 5 team no matter what. You can't look past that. I keep mentioning it because it's so important in comparison to how the LA Gladiators performed in this match. They flipped the switch. And I'm not betting against them in this next match when they go up against the Guangzhou Charge. And I've been real high on the Guangzhou Charge. But if the LA Gladiators show up in that match like anything they did today, they are going to beat up the Guangzhou Charge. And that's just a fact, guys. Guangzhou Charge might be a top 10 team, but LA Gladiators look like the best or second best team in Overwatch League right now with that performance. And I mean, let's be honest, we all expected them to be this good going into the Overwatch League. If we rewind 4 weeks ago before it started and everybody predicted a match between Atlanta Reign and the LA Gladiators, everybody would have said the LA Gladiators would have won probably easily like 3-1, maybe 4-0, maybe 3-2 if Atlanta had a good day. But that just shows how much the script flips in the Overwatch League. Any team can beat any team at any time, and it's absolutely nuts. I love it. And to talk about the Atlanta Reign a little bit, this was their only match for this week, so you would have expected them to prepare for it really hard, but unfortunately, you know, it just didn't go well, didn't go in their way. They're still fine. They've only lost to the Philadelphia Fusion and LA Gladiators. They have some really good and meaningful wins under their belt difficult right now, and if they continue to win out their matches during stage 1, they might have a chance at the stage 1 playoffs. They just have to stay confident. They were really high going into this match. I hope it doesn't destroy their confidence, especially a player like Dafran. We do know he's volatile, and he has already considered quitting multiple times during this season, which I don't understand. Thankfully, Atlanta Reign did hire a really good sports psychologist who will help Dafran, and hopefully he'll keep them on track, and they'll be fine coming into the next week. And as for their actual performance today, I think they were just really sloppy. Dafran was playing extremely aggressive, and he got punished for like the first time ever. He was walking forward and getting picked off early in every single team fight. Dogman he didn't show up like he did in the previous sets. And I know he's a pillar for the team when it comes to like aggression and mentality, so he's definitely got to be on point every single match. If he starts to underperform a little bit with that type of mindset, it's not going to work out. But overall, I think we just need to give credit to the LA Gladiators because they looked absolutely insane today. Their synergy was on point like it has never been. Roar and Void, I just got to give it up to them. They played great, as well as Decay. And I mean, the whole team did. I can't even give it up to a single player or a couple of them. It was an incredible performance. Let's move on now and let's briefly go over the other two games, which were interesting, but not as interesting as the first. In the second set, we had the LA Valiant going up against the Philadelphia Fusion. And honestly, if I had to pick an LA team that would win today, I would have went with the Valiant over the Gladiators. Unfortunately, though, I would have been wrong because the Valiant, they went down in this set 0-2. Philly took Nepal, they took Numbani, but LA Valiant did bounce back. They won Anubis and Route 66, and I have to say, Philadelphia Fusion has been plagued by Route 66 this season. They just can't seem to win it at all. They struggle on it every single time. Then we moved on to the fifth and final map, which was Busan, and Philly did take it 2-1. LA Valiant, they just can't catch a break. They've been to Game 5 like 4 times now, and they've lost it every single time. They're the worst team in the Overwatch League. They're winless. They're the new Shanghai Dragons, which is absolutely crazy. Nobody would have predicted that. I thought they would be like mediocre, but not this bad. No way I thought this would happen. So yeah, the LA Valiant and LA Gladiators were both big shocks, but fortunately for LA Gladiators, they were able to pick it up. LA Valiant, they were, and it's looking real bad for them. I don't even know if there's a chance for them to make the overall playoffs at this point. Anyways, congrats to Philly for winning the set 3-2. We moved on to the final set of the day, which was Toronto Defiant going up against the Chengdu Hunters. This one was, it was close here and there. Overall, though, Toronto Defiant were definitely the better team. They picked up Ilios, then they got a first hold over there on Kings Row. The third map was Volskaya, and I have to play this clip coming out from Jinmu because this was just nuts. I couldn't believe what I saw. These shots were absolutely amazing. Roll it.
They know how to run these strategies. They have the plays in mind. Look at this flank from Jinmu, too. Gross.
Beautiful.
And the whole team,
Another one.
the whole team just really knows how to play around.
What? Jinmu, you beast!
Jinmu, we talked about top 2 far in the league. Excellent projectile DPS player. Those are some impressive mechanics.
That's terrifying. I'm not gonna be.
No joke. That was absolutely terrifying. That, like, honestly, the only reason I wanted to even cover this set was so I could show you guys this clip coming out from Jinmu. His Hanzo is scary. That was nutty, and they did pick up this map, but unfortunately for them, again, Toronto Defiant were just too good for them. They look like a strong team so far, guys. I know Chengdu Hunters, they're not the best, but they do come out on top of most of the sets they do play. And that was pretty much it for the day, guys. I would love to know what you thought about the matches, so be sure to leave a comment down below. Also, drop a like on the video if you did enjoy it. Subscribe to my channel for more daily Overwatch League videos, or at least almost daily. 5 uploads a week is what I'm running for, guys. Anyways, that's it for me. I love you all. Thank you so much for watching. I'm out of here. Peace.